Hello everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. We're going to start this webinar in a couple of minutes. You'll be put on hold, mute, till we start this webinar. So please note that this webinar is going to focus on Azure Cloud Platform. If you do not have any understanding of cloud, Azure Cloud, this can be helpful. And then during the course, I'm going to do a quick demo on this cloud platform, and I'm going to share you all the materials. So thank you for joining. Uh, I'll I'll start it in a couple of more minutes. Uh, Thank you for being patient. So I hope all the logistics have been taken care. We had some people not able to hear me, so I think that's being taken care of. Now let's kickstart. So good evening, good morning, greetings everybody from wherever you are joining. I know you guys, a few of you are joining from US Eastern Pacific, as well as a lot of people from India. I know there is one friend of mine joining in from UK. So thank you for joining, and I hope this webinar will give you some insights on Azure Cloud. Let's get started. So do not worry, this webinar is being recorded, and this would be shared as soon as it's available after this webinar. So how we are going to do with this is we're going to do a quick comparison on the top three cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, and GCP. And then we will try to understand how do you move in your career when it comes to Azure. And then we would do a quick demo on the architecture of real-time streaming. And then I'm going to also present an architecture use case on how to ingest data at rest and data in motion. And finally, I'm going to show you some links which are useful for you to get started on various certifications and getting started basics on Azure. So thank you again, all of you, for joining. So we are going to do a quick comparison on AWS, Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. The reason we are going to do this is to understand why we have, uh, you know, we are looking heavily on Microsoft Azure. Now, look at 2016 versus 15, wherein AWS was a very clear leader by a margin, and then closely followed by other ones, like the other ones of the pack were not really comparative to AWS. So Azure, VMware, Google Lab. So IBM software today it is known as IBM Cloud Public, IBM Cloud Private. Uh, in last couple of years, it was also known as IBM Blomix. And then look at 17, right? You can see that Azure from the pack has grown to a different level. The growth is almost double, as but AWS is stable, still the largest and stable cloud provider, but Azure has gone and increased a lot. Please note that part of the reason is the number of clients who are adopting cloud. Now we talk to a lot of clients every day, day in and day out, talking about how they want to move, where they want to move. So okay, so there is a question from Mike. The question is, how do you see the trend in other cloud platforms and which client migrate to which clouds? Okay, so it depends. It depends on client to client. If the client or the customer has a stack of IBM, for example, we have seen that the most logical way would be to go to IBM Cloud because now you have IBM applications easily migrated to the cloud. But if it is SQL Server or SQL platform or Microsoft Stack, they generally tend to migrate to Azure. Interestingly, we have also seen a trend wherein people having Oracle uh, stack or IBM stack, they are also migrating to Azure in AWS and to Google Cloud Platform, but I have not seen the reverse yet. We have not seen clients having SQL Server looking to get into IBM or Google Cloud. Most likely they are heading to Azure Cloud or AWS. Did that answer your question, Mike? All right. Please note that the chat, the volume, the voice has been muted. It's all chat, which you can ping, and we will try to answer questions as and when it comes. Now, this is the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Cloud Infrastructure as a Service. You can see that Amazon Web Service is a clear leader, followed by Microsoft, and then Google is definitely a good competitor there. Guys, please mute your cell phones. Now, so that is where we are comparing AWS, Microsoft, and Google. This is a very high level product comparison. It's not really a comparison, but telling you what would you use for compute across various clouds. So Microsoft Azure, it's virtual machines, EC2 for Amazon and Google Cloud Compute Engine, or Kubernetes for GCP. Storage wise, you have Blob, Q storage, file storage, disk storage, data lake storage, Amazon S3, EBS, Snowball, Storage Gateway. Then you have Cloud, Google Storage, Persistent Disk. Locations, if you see, Amazon is obviously available at 42 time zones, availability in 42 zones, regions, in 32 regions as compared to Microsoft Azure, 33 for Google. Databases, Azure Data Warehouses, DB for MySQL, Postgre, Cosmos. Amazon has Redshift, Aurora, and Google Cloud Platform, Cloud SQL. From an ETL perspective, Data Factory and Logic Apps. So Data Factory is used for like ETL kind of a job, and Logic Apps is for API integrations and specifically to integrations and APIs. Obviously, there are a lot of things you can do in Logic API, and Data Factory is mostly around ETL, writing some SQL Server code and stuff like that. Glue, Airflow, and then finally for cloud you have Cloud Data Flow. So this is a very small little high level 50,000 feet view of these three clouds together. And what we have seen, and this is a cloud adoption and reliability index at a very high level. This is based on our understanding, based on research, based on white papers, based on what other people are saying, forums, blogs, customers, surveys. So what we have seen is AWS, as it came in 2005, it has a very steady growth and it's one of the most stable production systems. However, Azure has a very interesting case wherein if you look at from 2016 onwards, even in fact 15 onwards, it has gone doubled every year. And this was during the start of 2018, so it's expected to grow even more by the end of 2018. Case for IBM Bluemix, which is the IBM Cloud, is not looking that great. It's been around the same level, sometimes going up, going high. It's not really really adopted so heavily. But Google Cloud Platform has been increasing steadily, and there are a lot of lovers of Google Cloud Platforms. People like it just because it's Google, and Azure is really making the the market move around it. So again, having said that, this is totally based on our experience and our understanding and what we see and how we see the market. Moving on, we're going to talk about Azure certifications. Any questions? There's a question from Vinod. He's asking about which cloud platform would I prefer. Uh, I, being a consulting space, I do not have a preference. I like Azure, I like AWS as well, but it depends on the customer. Now, if I have to take a call, just to answer your question, if I have to take a call within those cloud, which one I would be going with, most likely it's going to be Azure. Oh yeah, I mean it's beneficial at times depending upon what you are trying to use, depending upon what is your use case. It is very cost effective as compared to other cloud solutions. Yep. All right. So the Azure certifications are divided into three levels: the 4 series, 5 series, and 7 series. So 4 series, why we call it is because it is 70 hyphen 473, 475, and 487. This is designing and implementing cloud data platform. It focuses on SQL Server, security, high availability, disaster recovery, and scalability. Uh, Big data analytics solutions is around big data, batch processing, operationalizing end-to-end cloud analytics solution. And then you have Microsoft Azure and Web Services 487, which is the Web API, web services, and specifics around that. So you have Microsoft.com. This is the source where we got this information from. Uh, 532, this is 5 series. 532 is Microsoft Azure Solutions. It is around networking, virtual machines, compute, mobile services. Azure Infrastructure Services 533. It is Azure App Service, resource management. This is very detailed. Operations, security, recovery. 535 is a smaller version, smaller subset, but it is around data. So it has computer infrastructure, data implementations, networking implementation, and operations. And finally, you have 537, which is your operating and configuring hybrid cloud with Microsoft Azure Stack. It talks about from an architectural level, from a solutioning standpoint, how to configure a PaaS or an IaaS, which is platform as a service and infrastructure as a service environment. It talks about DevOps, maintaining and monitoring of Azure Stack environment. So depending upon which area you fall, but I understand the audience right now we have is more around data and data science. So this is a very good series for you. We have Cloud Data Science with Azure Machine Learning, 774, 775, and 776. 74 is Azure Machine Learning. This is for data scientists who want to learn and grow their career in Azure machine learning models. Azure, they call it as Workbench. Now they have changed it. They call it something else, but it is Microsoft Azure Learning Workbench. It also has computer vision. There are a lot of text to speech and stuff like that. 775 is data engineering, people on big data platforms. The big data flavor on Azure is HT Insight, which is very similar to other big data platforms. You have big data batch processing solution, interactive processing and real-time processing solutions. And then finally you have the cloud service, which is basically your Azure streaming analytics design and more around databases, integrations, data factory, streaming analytics. So if you are a really DBA and if you want to go here, this is the 776 is what your thing is. Somebody has a question. Yeah, so this question is from Avinash. He's an analytics guy. So for analytics, if you want to do a data science, you have Azure Machine Learning, or you can do Power BI certification, which is not covered in this webinar, but we can talk separately. All right, moving on. So this is the demo on Azure Data Lake. Data Lake itself is a very big topic. We can go on and talk about Data Lake, but it's not really the motive of this webinar. So I'm going to talk about Data Lake on Microsoft Azure Cloud. Now these are very minute details, a very very high level salient points, not minute details, but high level salient points. So first is ingest data at rest and streaming data set. So in order to ingest data at rest, we would use Data Factory. Um, for streaming data, we will use Event Hub in combination with streaming analytics. Capture real-time events coming in from various applications. This can be done using Logic Apps or Event Hub and Logic Apps combination. Now, a data lake would store both data at rest and streaming data on the Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Lake is sometimes known as ADL, Azure Data Lake, or ADLS, Azure Data Lake Service. It can store structured data as well as unstructured data. And then create a structure on top of Data Lake. This can be done on Hive on HD Insight. You know that Hive is schema on read for dashboards and machine learning, and then real-time monitoring of streaming data by Azure Streaming Analytics. Avinash has a question. The question is, do you always need to have Hive to connect to analytics application? The answer is no. You can directly have Power BI connect to the data lake, or Azure Workbench connect to data lake. I'm going to talk about this architecture in a moment. All right. So this is a very high level architecture which I'm going to talk about. And so data at rest, you have IoT sensor data, data in motion. So you have Azure Data Factory, which is for data at rest, and it is dumping the data on Azure Data Lake. Can you put everybody, can you put yourself on mute, please? Okay, thank you. So we have Azure Data Lake, and then you have Azure Event Hubs, which is getting data from IoT, and then you have streaming analytics, which is then a consumer to Event Hub and getting to Azure Data Lake. You have Hive structure, HD inside, and then you have machine learning, Azure Workbench, and Power BI. Now, what is really happening is in this use case, we have a couple of sensors emitting IoT data in a real-time JSON format, and that message has been uh, you know simulated in Python. So I'm going to show you a Python code which is going to simulate this data, and then this data is captured using Event Hub on Azure, and from Event Hub, the Azure in Azure it gives to streaming analytics. Streaming analytics takes the data and pushes it to Azure Data Lake as well as to Power BI. So Power BI, it is not going to be a pull from Power BI. It is going to be a push to a data set, streaming data set, or from streaming analytics. Any questions? Yeah, Azure ML Workbench can directly connect to Azure Data Lake, but we put Hive tables just to give some kind of structure, but there is no problem connecting to Azure Data Lake as well. Question from Kumar. Yes, the Power BI can connect to directly the Azure Data Lake. Wonderful. Now, these are the YouTube video details. I'm going to show you a demo. So, the basics of MS Azure Cloud Platform. These are the videos. The first video is going to get you started. It says getting started. Just give you a high level understanding of what it is. It talks about data lake store. Then you also have Power BI to data lake store. Somebody talked about if we can connect Power BI directly to data lake. HD Insight Hadoop cluster, how to spin it, how to create a Hive table is also covered in this video. These are the YouTube video links. SQL Server management. Somebody has a question. Yeah, I mean, this material would be available after we complete this. I'm going to upload this video on the YouTube, the webinar recording, and then I'm going to share a PDF which is going to help you to look at all the video links what is being mentioned here. Question from Mike. Yeah, I mean, all of these videos are available on this Bharati DW Consultancy YouTube channel. Please feel free to subscribe it. It's totally free of cost, and I would never ask for any monetary, or I will not expect any money from anybody. We will not ask for any funds or anything else. It's totally free. It's for the community. Oh. So comment from a lot of people, good stuff, thank you, I appreciate it. This is for the community. This is just to get you started, help you guys to get started on Azure. And then you have a lot of machine learning starter, head start videos. Finally, you have cloud comparisons and Azure certification details, and you can share it with your friends, your colleagues and stuff like that. And then this is very specific to how to create a data lake. Install SQL Server, SSMS connections, installation of gateway, streaming analytics, Event Hub. So whatever the demo I'm going to show you, It's all available on these videos as well, so you can click them. uh, I'm going to show you a demo in a few minutes. And then this is Power BI real-time streaming. So Kumar, Avinash, a lot of Mike, people, a lot of you, Mike, we know, then others, we're asking about Power BI streaming. So this is one of the Power BI streaming data sources in using API. So you can click on this link. You have this R and machine learning on Power BI. But a complete set of Power BI tutorials is Power BI Do It Yourself tutorial. Getting started. If you click on this link, you will see a list of around 30-40 videos on Power BI just to get you head started on Power BI. Question Question is, can you use Tableau to connect to Azure? From Avinash, yes, you can use Tableau to connect to Azure. All right, next moving on. Can you guys hold on for your questions because we are running out of time and we need to complete the demo as well. I'm going to answer as much as I can. And then these are some other video playlists: data science and machine learning, Microsoft Azure Cloud, Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, IBM Watson, IBM Cognos, and Python tutorials. So these are all tutorials, again, available free of cost to you. All the videos are free, no charges at all, and no hidden charges at all. Go ahead and watch these videos. Now, I think it's time for a demo. So let's start the demo. And if you are watching a recording of this, you will have the list of the videos which have the demo. These are the video list of the demos, how we did the demo in this webinar. So these are the webinar demo videos: architecture for streaming data analytics. Again, the same video. We talk about the architecture, and then how to create an event hub. We used Python, so I'm gonna add Python script as well. Then creating streaming analytics, IoT data capture, and Power BI streaming dashboards using streaming analytics. So these are the videos uh, for demo. Let me add the Power BI as well. Sorry, Python as well. So the Python video will be available very shortly. I can share you the code. It will be on the Google Drive link, which is mentioned from here. Location. This is the Google Drive link, and this is mentioned uh, in the description section of the video below. Again, thank you for joining this webinar, and I really hope this was informative and helpful. Thank you, everybody.